Have you ever asked yourself why so many people feel broke, even though they're not actually broke? You know exactly the kind of people I'm talking about. The ones who make a great income, way more than what many others dream of, but somehow it's never enough. They're constantly stressed, always complaining about money, and convinced that if they just made a little more, they'd finally be happy. If you ever asked one of them, "Hey buddy, how is it that your big paycheck still isn't enough for you?" the answer would probably be, "Well, my expenses are just too high." But here's the thing, that answer is wrong. The real reason many people feel broke isn't just about numbers. It's because they're bad at managing money, and even worse at resisting social pressure. We live in a world where showing off isn't just common, it's practically a competitive sport. And what's worse, a lot of people don't even have the money to show off with. So they borrow or use credit to fake a lifestyle they can't afford. They try to keep up with neighbors, coworkers, or influencers who might have more money. The result? Debt, stress, unhappiness, and no chance to actually build wealth. Why do we do this to ourselves? Why do smart, grown adults spend money on things they don't even need? Why do some people with huge salaries constantly feel broke, while others with modest paychecks live comfortably? Back in 1986, the Roper Center for Public Opinion Research ran a survey asking Americans a simple question: how much annual income do you think you'd need to live a happy and comfortable life? The average answer was $50,000 a year. 8 years later, in 1994, they asked the same people the same question. Their new answer? $102,000 a year. That's more than double. Some people might say, well, inflation. But here's the kicker. Inflation alone doesn't explain it. A $10 bill in 1986 had roughly the same purchasing power as $9.47 in 1994. That's not double. So why did people suddenly need twice as much? Because when people earn more, they expect more. Their needs didn't really change. Their wants did. Juliet Shore, a professor at Boston University, studied this exact problem. She found that the more money people earn, the less satisfied they often feel. In her survey, about 2/3 of people earning more than $75,000 a year said they'd need at least 50% to 100% more to feel happy. Meanwhile, among people earning less than $30,000, less than 20% felt that way. So what's going on here? Why can someone living on $30,000 a year feel fine, while someone making $75,000 feels like they're drowning? It's all about how we spend our money, needs versus wants. Needs are things like food, housing, healthcare, clothing, and education. Wants, well, those have no limit. 50 years ago, the good life in America meant a steady job, a happy family, maybe a house with a backyard. But today, people's definition of good life has exploded. Now it means a big house, a vacation home, a pool, a luxury car or two, branded clothes, fancy vacations, private schools, and a coffee from Starbucks every single morning. Because apparently, we can't think straight without that $7 latte. Most people can't afford all that, and that's fine. But instead of being content, many feel miserable just because they don't have everything they see others having. That's where keeping up with the Joneses kicks in hard. This leads us to a very old but very real concept: conspicuous consumption, a fancy term coined by American economist Thorstein Veblen. Back in 1899, Veblen said people often buy expensive things not because they need them, but to show off or keep up with others. Let me give you an example. My friend Mike just bought the latest iPhone, imported before it even hit the stores. Do I need it? No. My Android works perfectly fine. But my ego? Oh, my ego whispers, Mike isn't better than you. So what happens? I end up buying the iPhone 2 probably on installments just so I can match him. Same vacation spots, same shoes, same car, same everything. It becomes an endless race of, look at me. Someone shows off. Someone else copies. Then someone shows off even bigger. And someone else borrows to keep up. Welcome to the hamster wheel of financial stupidity. The outcome? Unnecessary spending, shrinking savings, constant stress, and a deep feeling of being broke, even when you're not. And here's the wild part. This behavior even affects younger people. Many teens pressure their parents to buy them the same fancy stuff their friends have. If little Johnny's classmate shows up with an iPad, suddenly Johnny needs one too, or else he'll feel left out. And parents give in because they don't want their kids to feel less. But what are we really teaching them? Let me ask you something real. If your kid came home one day and said, "Dad, my friend got light-up sneakers. I want the same pair." What would you do? Would you buy it just to keep up? Or would you teach your child something more important, that their value doesn't come from their shoes? And it's not just kids. Adults do it too. Someone posts vacation pictures from the Maldives, and suddenly you're upset about your trip to the local lake. Someone shows off a Tesla, and your perfectly fine Toyota suddenly feels like a horse carriage. It's all comparison, and we're always comparing upward to people who seem to have more. Hardly anyone compares down. Sociologists call this your reference group, the people you compare your lifestyle to. If you make $30,000 a year and your reference group makes $80,000, you'll always feel behind. You'll work harder, spend more, and never feel satisfied, even if that $30,000 was once your dream income. It's not your paycheck that's making you miserable. It's your perspective. A study from Cornell University in 2011 found that people spend far more showing off on things others can see, like cars, jewelry, clothes, than on things people don't see, like undergarments, home maintenance, or services. Why? Because no one can admire your plumber bill, but everyone can admire your iPhone. And here's something even deeper. A study from the Journal of Experimental Social Psychology in 2010 found that some people use luxury spending as emotional armor. When their ego or self-worth is threatened, like getting criticized at work, they respond by buying something flashy to feel powerful again. That $1,200 designer bag isn't just a bag. For some, it's therapy, but it's expensive therapy. So what's the cure for this disease of showing off? Famous author Thomas J. Stanley, in his classic book The Millionaire Next Door, gave the simplest and smartest answer: social indifference. Social indifference means you simply stop caring about what other people buy, wear, drive, or post online. Your coworker went to a $300 steakhouse? Good for them. Your neighbor bought a boat? Congrats to them. That doesn't mean you have to do the same. When you stop letting other people's spending control your emotions, your wallet finally gets to breathe. Stanley's research found that most millionaires don't live flashy lives. They live below their means. They're not trying to impress anyone, and that's why their bank accounts grow while everyone else is stuck in the same loop. Here's the bottom line. If you're constantly trying to keep up, you'll never get ahead, because there's always someone richer, flashier, and louder. Always. But if you focus on your own goals, live within your means, and stop letting other people's lifestyles dictate yours, you'll build real wealth quietly, steadily, and smartly. So tell me, if your kid asks for those light-up sneakers just because someone else has them, what would you do? Think carefully, because how you answer that is exactly how you handle your own money as an adult. This is Cyrus Vault, where ancient wisdom meets modern finance. If you found this episode helpful, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you don't miss future episodes. And remember, wealth isn't built by impressing people. It's built by ignoring them. Disclaimer: I'm not a financial advisor. This video is for educational and informational purposes only. Please do your own research or talk to a licensed professional before making financial decisions.